You're listening to The Power Show with The World Changer, and I have a very special guest here. His name is Grayson Erhard. How are you doing, Grayson?
I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm doing very, very well, and I gotta say that I've just discovered your music recently, and your music sounds really awesome, and I like how unique and different it is. And in your music, you slap your guitar a lot, and it sounds awesome, but some teachers get really frustrated with their students for doing this. So what would you say to that student that wants to slap their guitar like you do in your music videos, but their teachers tell them not to?
You know, this is something I used to feel really guilty about after my dad told me that the guitar is a tool. It's a tool, you know. It's also a piece of art, but it's mainly a tool used to create expression and to get that out to people, you know?
So you're saying like you gotta take away from looking at it like it's some sort of item, and you just gotta look at it like a tool and just say, you know what, I'm gonna make the best sound I can from this instrument.
You know what's funny is I think I get most of my haters online on this topic, actually.
Really?
And it's kind of funny, yeah. Like people, there's a lot of guitar purists out there, and they feel like, you know, it needs to be done a certain way, but there really is, there's no rules. You know, obviously I'm not going to slap on somebody else's guitar without their permission, and I don't even hit it that hard.
So have you actually had to replace that guitar? Like, because I noticed that it is pretty banged up. So overhitting it over the years, have you ever had to sort of replace it and get a new one?
No. You know, it's pretty banged up, and it's also 40 years old. So you have to kind of take that into consideration.
Really? That's awesome.
It's 1970s, yeah. It's my dad's old guitar, and handed it down to me, and it's honestly not even the nicest guitar. It's it just has this incredible sound to it. In the studio, still working on the live sound, but in the studio it just sounds huge, and I just continued to play it because of that.
Yeah, so when did you start playing it in this unique way? You know, because some people, when they first start the guitar, they just think, oh, I'll just hold the strings and, you know, strum. But with your music, you just sort of slap the guitar all over the place, and it sounds really, really good. So when did that first start?
That first started after I watched some videos from Candy Rat Records. The guitarists on that label are incredibly inspirational to that style, and not necessarily the founders of it, but have taken it into relative mainstream, and I saw that in 2010.
Wow! And when did you start playing guitar?
I started, so I've been playing for 16 years. I can't tell you the actual year. I think maybe 2000.
So it's just recent, sort of, that you've started playing it in this unique way.
Yeah, only like 6 years or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's really awesome. I've never really seen anyone play the guitar like you do, because I've seen people sort of tap the guitar, but you just go all out on it, and it looks really, really awesome. Like it sounds really awesome as well. So you've shared the stage with bands like American Authors and Flowbots. Tell me what it was like sharing the stage with them.
You know, it's interesting each time, and the Flowbots, I know them. They're a Colorado, United States band, and I was actually in the studio with them, and they're just really cool guys. You know, they're still doing it and still killing it, and it's fun. I mean, I went on stage with them and played their last song. I think they did Rise or whatever.
Oh yeah, yep.
And we had a great time. And American Authors was interesting. I didn't really get to meet him, just open for him.
Okay, yep.
Shaky Graves is a really nice guy.
Yeah.
He's I thought it was funny because, you know, I've never seen the interaction between a manager and an artist where the manager is briefing him on how many people are out there. He's like, okay, there's 5,000 to 8,000 people out there, and you ready to go? And he's like, yeah, just like totally desensitized.
Wow, like,
totally desensitized the amount of people.
Do you ever get nervous when you perform for a large amount of people?
You know, I think when it becomes a larger audience, it gets a little more and more like ramen noodles. But the smaller crowds are actually what make me more nervous, honestly. Especially like the Candy Rat Records audience. They sit in chairs and they stare at you.
So you can see their facials, yeah.
Oh, that makes me so nervous because I'm like, man, I don't want to mess up for you guys. I know you're like, but when I saw some other artists like that, you know, I saw Andy McKee play, and he screwed up one time, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's human. He's human, thank God.
Now, I guess that's really interesting what you're saying, because correct me if I'm wrong, but you're basically saying that when there's a large audience, you can sort of just zone out and it's just sort of a whole bunch of blurry faces. But when you're in close, intimate quarters with people, you can see everything and see their response to your music. Is that right?
Absolutely.
What in your mind is success?
What in my mind is success?
Mm.
You know, it's constantly changing for me. I ask myself that a lot, mainly because it's easy to feel like you're not successful, you know?
Mm.
Especially when you compare.
Yeah.
Comparing is like the worst thing you can do. And, you know, already I could say that I'm successful. I have people that are covering my music, people buying it, playing it, sending me videos, people hitting me up every single day. You know, I've moved people with my music. That means the most to me. I know a lot of people would say that money is their their goal, you know, if they're able to be stable and stuff, but I've found a lot of other ways to make money, just not on selling music, but selling merchandise and tablature. I'm also like a web developer, so I built my own website and
Is that
help other
difficult?
artists
Is that
as
difficult
well.
making websites?
You know, it's pretty difficult.
Yeah, I could imagine, because I've seen people do a lot of coding, and it just seems very, very complicated. But it does sound like you're definitely on the right track. And in my opinion, I think you're already successful for setting the standard on playing guitar in such a unique and different way. Like, that is really powerful and awesome.
Thank you so much.
I wanted to ask you what Tapestry was about, your song Tapestry.
You know, actually, I go in and out of believing these lyrics, so they're kind of contradictory to me every now and then. But there's a lot of people in this world that will just accept mediocrity and live with it, and that's like totally fine. Just mediocre music, mediocre art, mediocre food, mediocre everything, and they'll just settle with it, and they know that they can do better easily. That, to me, mediocre music is music without a message. So I mean, everybody has their own interpretation, but that's kind of what it was about. Is about a lot of like the bubblegum pop that was kind of driving me nuts, that I'd hear on the radio all the time, and I just wanted to give out a message that, you know, there's so much better music out here that you can listen to. There's messages that you can really attach to. It can like really change your life. You don't have to listen to this.
And like you were saying, it's not only about the music in life, it's also, there's so many things, like you should aim for high, like go for something really awesome and amazing instead of something that's like, oh yeah, that's okay. Like what you're saying with food and
absolutely, like as a lifestyle, you know, like your lifestyle should be to pursue truth and to pursue like the best of everything. And I don't know what kind of philosophy that is, but it's kind of the one that I really stand behind. But at the other end of the spectrum, I've gone back and forth, because you can't really appreciate amazing music without bad music, right?
Yeah,
and so
that is really true.
I'll listen to some artists, and I feel bad if I even name them, where it's just like so cheesy that I love it.
Yeah,
and I'll find myself, you know, jamming out to like Michael Bolton or somebody. I won't listen to like many of his songs, but there's like a couple songs that are like guilty pleasure to me. So I've gone back and forth on how I feel about the lyrics to Tapestry, but that's kind of like the I guess the overview.
Yeah, it is. I like the lyrics, and I like the song and the beat and everything, because it's really powerful, and I was really interested to get the behind the story of that song.
And a shark tank of mediocrity, there's no hope without conformity. Blooming flower on a dying tree. Another color.
So if you had the power to speak to anyone in the world, who would it be, and what would you say to that person?
Oh man, you know, probably the first creator of the music that really got me into guitar, other than my father, was Tom Schultz. He's the guitarist of Boston.
Oh wow, yeah.
I used to grow up getting driven to school by my dad, and he'd play the first album and over. I just thought the guitar playing sounded so cool, and it kind of motivated me to really start picking up the guitar and
Yeah.
figuring it out. So I don't know. I would probably like, I'm not too like fanboy when I meet, people, because they're just people. But like with Tom, I would probably get really nervous. So I have no idea what I'd say. Honestly,
Yeah, it's always
I should probably
interesting.
think about what I would say.
It's always interesting meeting people that you think is absolutely awesome, and usually if they're a celebrity, it's even more interesting because if you meet them, like, you're seeing them in person, they're not on a screen. And like, for me, in my experience from meeting certain people, I've either switched to two different things. I'm like, hey, what's up? Or I'll be freaking out and turn into a total fangirl, and it's really interesting. So if you could write a song for any movie or TV show, whether it's from the 40s or now, what movie or TV show would it be?
Oh man. Just because it's getting to be around Christmas time, probably A Wonderful Life.
What is it you want, Barry? What do you want? You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Ooh, that's a good movie. Wow.
I like that one. That's I think it just has more substance to it, and it kind of aligns with some of my messages. And yeah. That's a good question. You have really good questions.
Oh, well, thank you.
Really impressed, man.
But if you could write a song with anybody in the world, dead or alive, who would it be?
I mean, it would either have to be Tom Schultz or Eddie Van Halen.
Those are really good choices. One of the other songs I thought is really good, and it's one of your newer ones, is Manifest. It's an awesome song, and I wanted to ask you about the story behind this song, and in particularly the TVs in the background of the music video that shows news, world news, and entertainment. What does all that mean?
So Manifest, the message behind Manifest is essentially we're all trying to pursue something, but we keep getting distracted by media and everything, like social media and just so many different things. You get a text message and you're trying to work, and it's mainly like distraction. Those TVs are meant to be distraction, and there's purpose behind your life that you're kind of searching for, but this distraction is like prolonging that search.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's like you don't have time to actually become who you want to be because you're so distracted all the time.
That's interesting because, for example, if someone was looking into, say, making films or something, they could spend a lot of time on YouTube Googling how to write stuff, but then they might be distracted by the YouTube video on the side saying, kittens jumping into a pool or something like that. And there's a lot of distractions, and that's one of the other things is that with the internet, there's so many tools on there, but there's also so many distractions.
Absolutely.
Wow. Yeah, I think Manifest is an absolutely awesome song, and it's really awesome seeing how you play the guitar. Like, I absolutely love not only listening to your music, but watching your music because it's cool and crazy to see. I didn't know that pretty much all the sounds, is it all the sounds coming from you and the guitar, or is there any other instruments involved for Manifest?
Nope, that's just me and the guitar.
Yeah, that's when I saw that, I'm like, wow, that's absolutely insane. Because when I first heard the song, I thought that there was maybe a particular extra instrument. So really, really powerful thing. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to come onto the Power Show. I really do appreciate it. If you want to check out Grayson Erhard's music, there will be a post on my Facebook and Twitter. And do you want to quickly link into your social media real quick?
Yep. It's pretty easy to find me. Just Google Grayson Erhard. My website, graysonerhard.com, will probably show up first. You can find me, Grayson Erhard Music is my tag on Facebook. Grayson_Erhard on Instagram, and Grayson Erhard just plain like that on Twitter.
There you go, Grayson Erhard, ladies and gentlemen.